Welcome to the Midwest Game Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, John, and here with me today are Brian.
Hey.
And Alex. Woo!
Hello.
Today we got a couple of small news bits and an interview with the organizers behind the 1UP Esports Tournament League Expo coming June 22nd through the 24th this summer. Then we're going to talk about Hunt Showdown. We kept calling it The Hunt. It's just Hunt Showdown.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Straight to the point.
Yeah. Which that hit early access on Steam last week, which is pretty sweet. Before we get to all that, if you want to follow us on social media or see all the places you can listen to or watch the show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. And as always, we do appreciate your feedback when you send it to MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. Real quick, I want to shout out my friend Corey and his current endeavor working towards being a content creator for Destiny. I know we shit on the game a lot. But it is a game we all know and love, and Corey's done a really great job with his first few videos. So check out his YouTube channel, which is Give Up the Ghost. I will post a link on the show notes for everybody to peep to, because he could not have possibly made that more difficult to search for with his spelling and his alterations to the phrase "Give Up the Ghost."
Underscore everything.
Yeah, exactly. There's underscores. There's double letters. There's a number in there. It's literally. I feel like I'm looking at Matrix code when I read the name. It's kind of ridiculous.
Except you've looked at it long enough to where you can understand it.
Exactly. If you're a content creator of sorts, or if you have any projects you want to promote with us, give us a shout out via email and social media, and we'll work something out with you guys. We want to support our listeners because our listeners help support us. So please do get a hold of us with anything you're working on too, and we'll talk about it. Maybe do an interview with you as well. I was really happy to talk with Matt and Chris from the 1UP Esports Tournament League. It's so many words. I think
I'm sorry I missed out on that.
But no, it's all good. It was a great interview. We'll have that in the middle of the episode. But before we get to any of that, Brian, you got your first solo chicken dinner in PUBG. How do you feel?
It felt pretty good.
Yeah.
I have one in each
in
type
each
now, like
type of game.
each
but
category.
All
Solo,
first person,
duo, right? Yeah, and squads.
All right. Now you got to hit the cheaters in third person and beat them.
Yeah, I have no interest in that, honestly. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of that game again. Partially just because
you like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I missed it.
It's a fun game.
For whatever reason.
Do you only play first person?
Yeah.
We do now, yeah. He used to just play third person, but then I think because I started playing, we all switched to first person. Because I prefer first person.
I do too.
I have always been a big fan of first person shooters versus third person. Like Gears of War, I think, is the only third person shooter that I ever felt was done properly.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Division was all right.
It's fine, but I mean, it didn't really need to be third person.
I suppose.
Whatever. But yeah.
They wanted it to be
fun.
third person so you could see all the cool gear on your agent.
Yeah, all the cool clothes you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude,
fancy.
that's all the content in that game is all clothing.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Shorts and shitty sneakers and
Yeah.
whatever.
It's like me playing Rainbow Six.
Obnoxious
shorts and
sneakers,
obnoxious sneakers.
Puffy coat.
Puffy coat, yeah. What? That's it, pretty much, right? That and Hunt.
Diablo 3, actually.
Oh, yeah, you've been killing
Quite a bit of
Diablo 3
that.
with Zach because season 16 started?
13.
13.
I believe. And yeah, it's been interesting.
Right on.
Like,
What is the difference between seasons? Is
you
it just
start a new character seasonally, and you can only play with that character with other people who started a seasonal character, and you kind of level together and compete for like the top spot.
Okay.
yeah, there's leaderboards and everything, and you can get like specific rewards. That's the only
Do
way
they
you
throw
can get
like
them.
season-based loot?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and all that stuff and like everything that you get during the season actually transfers to your stash at the end of the season.
Okay.
Because at the start, like it's completely separate from all your other characters. Like your season characters has its own stash and everything.
Yeah. To keep everybody on the same playing field.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a level playing field. I forgot how much fun that game can be. It's like it's so mindless most of the time, but it's really fun to just like play with Zach. Like I played with Zach and John one day. Excuse me. And it was cool, like just bullshitting, and like before you know it, you've killed like thousands of monsters and
Yeah.
and, you know, it's nice and relaxing compared to playing PUBG and screaming at everyone. all
Yeah,
the
Rainbow
time.
Six.
It's definitely
Or
not a
Rainbow
game you
Six.
have to pay full attention to, and
Yeah.
especially like when you're playing with Zach, like it's literally just like third person walking
You
simulator.
got that Zach
like
buff.
yeah,
Yeah.
because Zach's just like, I mean, I don't even know. Like I play as a monk typically, which I'm disappointed in. I really need to start playing as different characters in that game. But it was like I literally just like I would be changing gear around and I flip back to the game and like they're across the map.
Everything's dead.
And everything's dead.
Yeah.
And when I finally get to them, like there's all these explosions around of whatever the hell Zach had just done, or you. I don't even know what you guys are doing.
To mix things up, to have a new experience with the game, I had some Blizzard money in my account still, so I bought the Necromancer pack.
Sweet.
And the Necromancer is just awesome. And my favorite thing is it has an ability called Corpse Explosion.
Yeah.
And every single enemy that dies drops a corpse, and you can explode it, and then it causes like a chain reaction. So like, there's no cooldown on it either.
Bloody mess on steroids.
So
yeah,
everything was blowing up
bloody mess
everywhere. Like
everywhere.
and it was just ridiculous.
It's so fun. It doesn't really get old. Like every
Awesome.
once in a while, like
And
Zach
that's
would
kinda-
just laugh at it.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice to have a game that you don't have to focus on
Yeah.
that much, you know? And, like, if you've already played it a bunch and know the story, like, I've played that intro segment to that game, like, 1,000 times at this point. Like, I'm just not even...
I've played that part 3 times, and
Well-
it kind of like I've played it so many times and not gotten any further that I'm sick of playing that part and just don't want to play
They've
the game
added
anymore.
so much to that game since it came out, and getting rid of the auction house and everything just made
Yeah.
that game so much better.
Yeah.
But the adventure mode is like where it's at, because you have bounties to accomplish, and you get like special rewards like recipes for set items and
That's cool.
legendaries and all that. Because the crafting is actually pretty cool in that game. Yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
Totally. There's some weird random tile sets that they've added over the years too. Like there's another thing you can do other than bounties is you can open rifts, which are basically like just constant killing until you get to a certain point, and then the rift boss is summoned. Like you have to like fill up this meter.
Basically
full
a
of
horde
kills.
mode kind of thing.
Kinda. But they have a lot of weird tile sets that they added.
Is there one that turns all of them into Barney, the dinosaur?
I believe so.
Okay, good.
The one that I was in though, it was called Cuddle Bear. Like everything was a cuddle bear. It was just a fucking like stuffed animal
That's awesome.
enemy, and there were tons of them. They were like unicorns, I think, too.
It just
It was
reminds
so
me of when people would put like Power Rangers into Doom or
Right.
Barney.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, your own
That's
your own
fantastic.
It's
skins.
just cool
in
I
that
miss
Quake
that.
2.
I like that they have fun with the game, and they like don't make it too serious with
Yeah.
the end game content, at least. Yeah, and the more I played it too, like the more I kept thinking like, why the hell didn't Bungie take more cues from Diablo? Like,
Yeah, they're not.
you
They're clearly
get
not
loot
communicating.
constantly in that game, but you're still always excited about it.
Yeah.
And in Destiny, like they somehow took all the excitement out of getting new loot, and loot is a big part of that kind of game, whether they think so or not. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, when you get the
still-
same gun 5 times in a row and there's nothing different about it, what's the point in playing anymore?
The
Right.
Activision Blizzard / Bungie relationship is something I would like to know more about
Yeah.
someday. So
I don't
Maybe-
feel like there is much of a relationship.
maybe 10
there.
years from now, when somebody writes the Destiny tell-all, we can know.
Right.
But-
It seems that Blizzard, I mean, they're their own entity and they do whatever the hell they
Yeah.
want, even though they have the Activision name attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
And good for them because they do a good job.
Yeah.
Maybe Luke Smith will write the book and we can have Webby narrate it for an audiobook that we publish on our platform.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So, Alex, what have you played?
Nintendo put a Kirby something. I forget what it's called. I'll look up the thing here. But the new Kirby for Switch, there's a demo up on the European eShop, which you have to have a European account on your Switch in order to get. And I downloaded it and I played it, and it feels like Kirby, and it's awesome. And it's called Kirby Star Allies. It's a 4-person game. It'll basically give you 4 AI buddies to go through and fight everything with if you don't want to play with them. But it's not like New Super Mario Bros. In that you don't like push each other all around
That's
the
good,
screen.
because
or
that's like
hit
the
each
was
other.
worst
so
thing
irritating.
ever.
Yeah.
That's
so
by far my least favorite Mario game I've ever played.
it works better than that. But the nice thing is, like, there's the sword guy that you usually absorb as Kirby, but if you have pals on your team, like, you throw a heart at them to get them to join your team in the single player, essentially.
Okay.
And if you have those pals, you can use them to put an element on your sword, like fire or ice or water.
That's sweet.
And then you can interact with different things in the environment or do more damage to certain guys. And it's good. It feels like Kirby. I think that comes out on the 16th or something like that.
How's it look?
It looks nice. It feels like the frame rate's a little slow, but it might just be I haven't played a game on the Switch in a while.
Right.
I don't know. But it looks good. It looks good. It's not quite as visually striking as like some of the other Kirby stuff or Yoshi stuff has been as of late.
Yeah.
But they just kind of had 2 basic levels in there, and they're not going after the like clay Kirby that they did or the woolly Yoshi that they did. So
right.
it just kind of looks like a Kirby game, and I'm okay with that.
Cool.
It's fun. But other than that, I played the Moss demo.
Yeah, I checked that out too on PSVR.
Moss is it's PlayStation VR game where you play this kind of larger spiritual being,
Omniscient.
and you control this little mouse in front of you. So you're moving the mouse around like in a third-person action kind of way, but you can interact with the environment as this greater like god creature where you go and like spin a cylinder so that the mouse can jump into it and like move to different parts of the level.
And you can do those things at the same time.
Yes.
Like, which is really cool. So you can interact with the puzzle as the omniscient being while you're moving the mouse to interact with it as well. So you're kind of working in like different levels. It's really interesting.
So the game came out in full last week. It's $30, and I wasn't sure. I'd heard that you could beat it in like an hour and a half, which if you can do that for $30, that sounds kind of rough.
Yeah.
So I was skeptical.
I can't play VR for an hour and a half straight. So
so it
I
might
would
take
maybe
you some
get
time.
my money's worth.
But I wanted to try it out just so we could talk about it a little bit. And people have been raving about it, and I think it seems like it's very good.
I mean, even the demo it's really good looking for a VR game. The idea is cool. It's kind of cute. Kids would probably love it. It definitely is clearly influenced by the Brian Jacques book series, the Redwall series, Martin the Warrior, Moss Flower, all those.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's very good fantasy book series. Probably
Gotcha.
one of the only series of books I've ever read because I hate reading, just like Alex does. It's a family trait, I think.
we can't read.
Yeah, no, we
don't
can't.
know how.
Illiterate
As I
bastards.
try to read my notes at the
Yeah.
head of every show, and I screw it up every time. But it's clearly influenced by that. The character's really cool. I really liked. Did you get hurt by the scarabs
I did.
and you healed him?
Yep.
Yeah, like that's a cool thing. So you take your controller and you rest it on him, so your glowing orb like wraps him up,
Yeah.
and you hold
Aw.
down your buttons to grasp, and it kind of like squeezes him, and he heals. It doesn't like.
Can you over squeeze and
No,
he pop?
he
No.
doesn't. He don't
There's
pop
no
mouse.
there's no Of Mice and Men simulator to
Oh.
this
Yeah.
game.
None of that. But
That's a
For all
book,
you George
too.
Steinbeck fans out there.
yeah, we're going deep with literature
Right.
today, like super deep.
And that's all that's been.
It's
read
really
here.
cool, and its textures were really sweet. The controls were very basic, kind of hack and slash stuff.
You're
with
kind
him.
of like there's a little bit of combat and fighting things, and the game or the demo ends. It's a pretty brief demo, but it ends with you getting to what looks like it would be some kind of boss.
a giant boss.
Yeah. But the
Is it a rat?
It's a snake,
Yeah.
a huge.
That
It's
makes
like a
more
big
sense.
basilisk essentially.
Because your
but-
little mouse dude is like yay big, and the snake is like the head of the snake is like probably in line with the size of your human head, like in terms of scale, like
Yeah.
perspective.
Well, a
like
snake and a basilisk are not the same in my mind.
Well, a
Which one is it?
basilisk is a large snake.
okay,
Really?
Yeah.
let's
I thought it was more like
Anyway.
a lizard, like an iguana kind of.
Tune in later for the nerdy.
maybe in your Magic the Gathering.
Yes,
cards,
that's
you
exactly
fucking
what I was
nerd.
thinking of.
Anyway,
Stun basilisk.
but the
Tap 2.
but the also instead of not instead of but alongside the combat, you're doing kind of platformy puzzling type stuff where your god character is manipulating elements in the like diorama in front of you.
Yeah.
It's just a really cool VR setup. I wanted you to play it a lot because it reminded me of the Robot Rescue kind of thing.
It's very similar to that, except for you as the viewer are stationary in each segment,
Yeah.
whereas the Robot Rescue thing, you're moving along with him.
Yeah. but like there's like stages where Moss comes in to the stage, you do stuff in it, and then he exits, and then it brings you to the next part of the stage.
It's very cool. I don't want to pay $30 for it. Like just hearing that it's like an hour to an hour and a half long or whatever. I would much rather pay like maybe $20 for something like that, which I know $10 isn't much of a stretch, but I'm
tempted, but it's one of those things where it's like I don't have a ton of time right now, and I know it's going to be on sale by the time I do have time to play it. So I'm waiting. But if I had the time, and if I wasn't worried about the money, I feel like I would go for it.
If all games were like $10, we could just buy them all when they came out.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be great, except then I probably still wouldn't play any of them because I'm like, oh yeah, I bought a bunch of games, but I don't really know how I feel about it. Yeah.
Classic Steam sale.
So
problem.
But yeah, Moss is cool. I'd like to check it out some more. It's very similar to Robot Rescue in the
It seems cool to me, but I probably won't play it because I don't have a PSVR.
No, it's cool.
Well, Walmart was selling just the headset
I'm not going
for
to
like
Walmart or giving them any of my money.
So
I hate that place.
All right.
I don't even care. I'd
That's
spend
fine.
more somewhere else.
Okay.
Cool, man. Anyways, let's hit some news. What do you say?
All right. Let's go over to the news segment here. John, you had a couple stories up front.
Yeah, I picked all these stories out today, so I'll talk about them for the most part. Diablo on Switch is not actually happening, but this
they did.
Blizzard came out and put up this post on Twitter of a Diablo nightlight, and it was like flicking on and off, and the entire internet lost their minds thinking that they're going to bring Diablo to Switch. Blizzard came out and later said, we're not that clever, so don't give us that much credit for coming up with an ad campaign like this. We just wanted to create some form of audience engagement, which they did. They engaged the audience. The audience clearly wants Diablo on Switch.
I think that would be fantastic.
It would be amazing, whether it's Diablo 1, 2, or 3, or the whole collection on Switch. I think that is a set of games that would be perfect for sitting around a table with your homies and playing on a Switch.
And honestly, like reading the comments, like to this not really announcement was just amazing. Like I don't think I've ever seen so much positivity from the gaming community.
If they did like even a Diablo 1 remaster.
Oh, I would buy it for sure.
I would check that out.
Yeah, if they did Diablo 1, 2, or 3 on Switch, I would buy it for sure because they're just great. It's a great series of games, and the Switch is a perfect platform for that. And like one guy said, they did Diablo 1 on PlayStation, so there's no reason why they couldn't do one of the Diablo games on the Switch.
They did Diablo 3 on all the consoles.
And everybody else was like, oh, I don't know about this. And then some other guy chimes in and goes, yeah, but don't you guys remember this? And shows off Nintendo 64's version of StarCraft, you know? Yeah. And like, so clearly like Blizzard has ties to the console community, and Overwatch clearly is one of those indicators. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but they're clearly just not looking to touch it now.
And Diablo 3 did run on PS3, you know, so it feels like it would probably still take a hit, but I think it would be something that they could certainly work out on the Switch. So,
for sure.
That would be cool. I don't know if you remember, but the original PlayStation Diablo required a whole memory card.
I don't remember that.
It was a full standard memory card for the PlayStation 1.
Which those memory cards
was good though, from what I recall.
Those memory cards were 1 megabyte.
Yeah,
it was a 1 megabyte
expensive
memory card, and they were like $50.
Yep.
Wow, we've come a long way.
Yes, we have.
Yep.
All right, John, this one.
Yeah, so this one's really funny. Who's doing Detroit Become Human? I don't remember.
Quantic Dream.
Yeah, so Quantic Dream released the Detroit Become Human artwork, box art, and the entire internet lost their minds on this, saying that it's the stupidest box art they've ever seen in their entire lives.
What the hell did they do to the Renaissance Center?
Well, that's the other thing. Like, a lot of people are angry because, like, anybody who's from this area knows the Detroit skyline is very iconic, and it's been clipped down to basically nothing. And then, what's the dude's name? Jesse Williams?
I think
something like that. So then they also are focusing the cover on Jesse Williams, who is not the main focus of the game. He's one of 3 characters that are the main focus of the game. And
I guess they were like, man, you have a real nice eye.
Yeah, the whole audience kind of lost their mind. Yeah, so if you go in the comments, there's these amazing reimaginations of this cover. This Eminem one in the Twitch stream is fantastic. The Shrek one is my favorite.
Shrek comparison.
Yeah. It's just, the things the internet chooses to nitpick are just
that
so
M&M
funny.
one's so good.
As someone from the area, I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. I don't think it's bad artwork. I've seen bad artwork elsewhere.
Yeah,
It's
like
not the
art
worst
school.
cover I've ever seen. Like, but it's just not. I don't know. I don't care about this game anymore. I don't even think I'm gonna pick it up. But
Yeah.
after hearing how terrible it is to work at Quantic Dream, I don't really want to give them any of my money. But
Fair enough.
yeah,
It makes me mad that this game it like has an attachment to Detroit. 'Cause
yeah.
I really am not interested.
But I
much
think
in
the
this game,
the
and I
attachment to
don't want
Detroit
that
is
type of
really it's
attention
just
for Detroit.
surface level.
Well,
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I think it's a I don't know. I haven't played the game.
It's
I
not
don't
like
know.
they're gonna roll into like, hey, we're at the Loving Touch in Ferndale.
You
and
never know.
A crime is taking place. I'm Jesse Williams.
It's a robbery down at Lafayette Coney.
I was in that show Prison Break.
No,
Which Coney Island's
Wasn't
better?
I don't think so.
I thought he was.
He was on
or no, he was.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, that's it. They're all the same. All those stupid shows at 9
Yeah.
p.m. on Fox or NBC. Anyways, nobody cares.
Yeah.
The internet cares apparently. Like I said, the things the internet like nitpicks for in just
Embraces.
yeah, I don't get it. Like, what the hell is going on?
It's the group think.
Yeah, I guess. So,
All right. I put this one in here. PlayStation Plus is dropping PS3 and Vita games in 2019.
I was very upset about this.
Just kind of
even
sucks. Yeah,
though
Brian's a
it
big
has-
PS3 and Vita fan.
Even
and
though I
so
don't have either of those.
He plays though. You have a PlayStation TV which downloads Vita games.
Yeah, I always forget about that.
Yeah, you
I
do.
never use it for that.
But
I use it to stream my PS4 occasionally, and that's about
yeah,
it.
I usually go in and download the games for PS3 and Vita just because they're there and they're free, and why not? It's easy to do on the app, but it just kind of sucks, you know. But it's the end of the life for the Vita, probably, which that's fine.
Who wants a Vita now that there's a Switch?
Yeah,
yeah, I have a Vita. I don't know why I have a Vita.
yeah.
There's no reason. I should have just never
Oh,
bought it.
I remember what you used to use it for a lot. Playing Destiny while you're on the toilet, right?
That's true. I mean, it
No,
has
actually,
uses.
I never played Destiny on it. I was using it to play Don't Starve remotely,
Oh, okay.
and I used it to play No Man's Sky remotely.
I think it's a very nice machine, but I think they made a mistake by making it using proprietary memory.
Yeah.
Was the main thing.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, that's besides the point. Just a PSA, and from going forward in like March 2019, it will only be 2 PlayStation 4 games will be available for PlayStation Plus. So, bummer, but it's the future. So
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So, like I said, Alex and I we did an interview with Matt and Chris from the 1UP X esports tournament league. I always forget how many words that is. They're having an expo on June 22nd through the 24th, and we're gonna play you that interview right now. Anybody watching the Twitch stream?
we're not actually
We're
going
not
to play
actually going to
it.
play the interview now.
We're
It's
just going to edit it in.
It's going to be edited in after the fact. We have 5 viewers right now. That's cool.
That's cool.
One of
Yeah,
them's me.
37:40 is kind of where the timestamp
All right,
is. But
cool.
anyway, if you want to go back into it, is the 1UP X Esports Gaming Expo 2018.
That is a mouthful.
It is.
It is a mouthful. This event seems really cool. Anybody in the Twitch stream, check out 1upxesports.com for more information.
Yeah.
3 days, 8 tournaments,
Cool.
184 players,
Yeah, they've got
$45,000 prize pool.
yeah, so and that's spread across a bunch of different games. But people will listen to the interview and hear that.
Yep.
It'll be
And,
released on the final podcast. So here's my intro back into that. I hope everyone enjoyed that interview. I'd like to thank Matt and Chris again for taking time to sit down with us. Again, the expo is June 22nd through June 24th. Be sure to check out 1upxesports.com for more information. We played Hunt Showdown.
Yes.
It was
Which is an early access.
an early access game on
Very early
Steam.
access.
I would compare this. Brian and I coined it as a PvPvE game. Player versus environment. It has permadeath, so when you die, you're dead.
Well, let's go to the basics here.
Okay, it's a first-person hunting game,
First-person shooter.
hunter game, where you are hunting you have a bounty, a mark that you're hunting down, but there are 10 other
monster,
players.
to be specific.
Yeah, a monster. There are 10 other players in the environment that are also hunting the same monster as you, and they're also hunting you as a player.
And there are also several other zombie-like monsters around.
This is the latest game by Crytek. It has somewhat of a Victorian type milieu, at least in terms of like older type rifles and, you know, kind of a colonial America or Civil War-ish, somewhere in those kinds of times.
Setting is definitely like the Louisiana Bayou setting.
And the general flow here is that I think 40 people typically.
Oh, there's 10.
I think it's only 10.
It's 10 players per environment.
They might change
They
that.
might
So
be
you could-
aiming towards 40. But
Maybe down the line, but currently
I hope-
they're doing 10 per round, and it can be either duos or solo. And you basically, as you enter a game, you hire a hunter, and you can outfit that hunter with some new gear and stuff from the store.
With the money that you get for
The money you get
killing stuff.
Yeah, the game starts everybody with $666. So
pretty cute.
yeah, definitely cute. This game is awesome. It's everything I wanted. Like I don't remember where they announced this. Maybe it was E3 or something. Like I saw.
Yeah, I think
was it E3 or like the?
No, it was the. I think it was the Game Awards.
Game Awards? No, I thought it was earlier than that. I don't know. But anyways, as soon as I saw it, I added it to my wish list on Steam, and it's been in a closed alpha for a very long time.
Yeah, it's been in production for quite a while. It wasn't originally Crytek actually developing the game, and I think it was a pretty different game overall.
Yeah.
So they have pivoted it into a PUBG type game.
Yeah, and if there were more people in the environment, that'd be crazy. I don't necessarily think they need 40 people like in each round, because I think 10 like having few players is anxiety what's the word I'm looking for? Inducing enough. Yeah. It's just all right, just to give everyone an idea of how I played this game earlier today. I entered a round solo by myself. I took a complete shot in the dark as to where I thought the monster was going to be, and I went to the closest extraction point. So when you kill a monster, you have to banish it to hell, and then you collect tokens from it, and you have to take those tokens to the extraction point without getting killed. If you die, you're removed from the game, you get half the amount of XP, you get half the amount of money, and you lose the character completely. If you actually make it to the extraction point, you get all the money that you earned, you get all the experience you earned, and you get an extra bounty. You get extra experience and money for bounties.
The thing is, when you're banishing a monster, it tells everyone in the game that it's happening, and it takes a while.
And
so it makes you.
And then once you actually do banish the monster and collect the token from its corpse, you have to extract. In doing that, everyone knows where you are. Generally, the map gives you a general idea by showing a lightning bolt, like an animated lightning bolt that's happening. And other players can then hunt you down to steal your bounty from you. So today, I took a shot in the dark thinking like, okay, I think the monster's going to be on this side of the map. So what I did is I worked my way down the west side of the map all the way to the southern extraction point, which was the closest to the area that I thought the monster was going to show up. He did show up in that same area. The monster was very close to my starting point, but he was like literally like halfway down the map or whatever. So I went to the very bottom of the corner of the map where the nearest extraction point was. And as soon as I saw him banishing, I collected ammo from the surrounding buildings that was there, so I had full ammo, and I hid in the woods, and I waited for the two dudes to come creeping through the swamp, and I watched them creep up. They parked in the brush because there was a giant brute zombie floating around the carriage, just hovering and like circling it, so they couldn't extract until they killed that thing, because otherwise it'll just destroy them. Those brutes take you out in like 2 hits.
Yeah, and it takes time to extract.
Yeah, it takes 20 seconds to extract. So while they were waiting in the brush, one of the guys stepped out to kind of circle around to see the brute. While he circled around, I headshotted the other dude that was still sitting in the brush, and he went down. And all of a sudden, the other dude who's circling the carriage starts panicking, and I see him looking in all directions trying to figure out where the shot came from, and he starts running around the carriage. The brute started chasing him, and as he came around the backside of the carriage, I pegged him in the head between 2 horse heads with a headshot. Took him out.
I'm glad you didn't shoot a horse.
It was amazing. The brute started chasing me because I was the only other thing in the area, and it knew where I was. I killed the brute, I collected both their bounties, and I extracted, and it was the most exhilarating experience I've had in a video game since I played Bloodborne and beat the first boss. It was amazing. Like, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had playing a game. My heart talking about it is racing right now because it was so fun. It was amazingly fun.
So I guess the one thing that we didn't talk about, there is like an eagle vision, a detective view, or whatever they call it, where you hold a button down and it guides you towards a clue. And there's 3 clues that narrow down the circle. It doesn't kill you in PUBG if you're outside of this, like in PUBG if you're outside of the area on the map. But it narrows down where the final bounty is.
Yeah, you find 3 clues. Those 3 clues narrow down the map.
You can find those 3 clues are the same for everybody, and everybody is guided to all of them. But also, you can also find the monster without getting any of the clues.
The clues give you a lot of XP though if you find them,
and
so
money.
They're worth finding. But there's definitely like one of the games I played with John. We were starting to look for the clues, and then we just happened to find the dudes that were like, or was that with you, Alex? I remember like we were looking for clues, and then all of a sudden we figured out that one of the enemy teams had already found the mark. And they were there. So
that wasn't with me.
That was with me.
Okay. But yeah.
They went in the building and we circled out from the outside. And then another team of guys was coming in from like the east. And so we were trying to take care of the guys that were outside while the other guys were inside fighting the butcher. And then we both ended up just getting killed, which was...
Yeah.
The sound for the game is definitely designed with headphones in mind, so you can kind of like pinpoint where people are.
Yeah, they even tell you right off the bat, play this game with headphones for the binaural 3D sound. So.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, just all the different tactics you can use in the game.
Yeah, it's like you can go in and just play a couple rounds just killing zombies and then extract without doing anything to attack people if you just want to get some experience, like that kind of thing. So that's possible. There is a character level and an account level.
A bloodline
level.
The character level.
Okay.
No. There's character level and bloodline level. The character level is for the individual hunter that you have.
Oh, yeah.
So the hunter's level goes up, and then as your hunters complete tasks or whatever and gain experience, you then also gain your bloodline experience, which is is account wide. What that does is when your bloodline experience goes up and you gain levels, you start unlocking different weapons and things
that you can spend money on.
Right, you can buy to outfit your new hunters with and everything.
As far as I can tell, if a hunter dies and they're using one of those weapons you bought, you don't lose those.
No, you don't lose access to them. You have to purchase them again moving forward.
Really?
But
you don't notice that.
You don't lose access to that stuff.
Yeah, whenever a hunter dies, you lose anything on them, and you're going to lose their character level too.
Right. So if you used a hunter repeatedly through several rounds and leveled them up super high, and then got to a particular engagement where you were then killed, you then are. You're left with nothing from that character. You have invested how many hours outfitting him and upgrading, because they all have upgradable points to get different stats, like faster stamina recharge or faster sprinting speeds and things like that. So if you've invested a lot of time on a particular hunter and they die, like, you lose all that. It's very roguelike in that sense.
You still
it's
you still get that overall level. So there is some you retain that progress, but you do lose whatever was associated with that character,
right?
Which
And the game tracks how many zombies you've killed and how many hunters you've killed and how many times you've died and everything like that. Like, that's all tallied up on the main dashboard of the game. It's an awesome game.
It's a very interesting experience. It's been fun for me to play because I didn't play any of the Division and try any like the Dark Zone out or the extraction.
Yeah, it does
type
remind
stuff in
me
there.
of that quite a bit.
But why don't you talk about it a little bit, Brian?
I was just gonna say, like, I do really enjoy it. But I'm definitely looking forward to what it's going to be like several months into early access, because I've run into quite a few bugs that ruin the experience for me. Like, we tried to play one day and none of the contracts loaded properly, so we actually couldn't start a game, even though we could get into the game.
John was having trouble even booting it up the first time.
Yeah, the first time... Actually, it was the second time, technically, because it loaded the first time, but then because I had loaded the game the first time and it had created a user folder in the local files for some reason, every time I'd have to start the game, I'd have to go and delete that user folder, and it would delete any of my user preferences that I had set up, any sort of key bindings that I had arranged for myself and things like that. That is now fixed as far as I know, because I have had zero issue loading in.
That's good.
Carrie was playing it last night when I was over at his house, and he hadn't really played solo at all. So I was kind of walking him through like playing solo, and I was like, you don't have to go after the monster. Like you can just run around and kill stuff and hunt down the clues if you want, and then extract. So we were kind of
money and run.
We were doing that for a while, and you know, it looked really good on his computer too, which he doesn't have like the most powerful computer, but it's not. It's definitely not. You know, a cheap computer. Like I think he's running a Ryzen 7. Or is it 5? I think it's
Those are very capable.
Ryzen 5, and he's got an RX 580 in it, and it's able to run no problem on there. It looked great on his computer. It looked great on my computer. But he ended up getting to the point where he found where a clue was. He got one clue, was going after a second clue, and I was like, okay, there's a little like guard tower. We were playing in one of the night scenes. He climbed up the guard tower and was kind of peeking the area to see if he could see any zombies that he could headshot while he was up there.
And then somebody took his head off.
Someone else headshotted him from the bushes. We heard the guy. We could hear him walking around, and we didn't know where he was. And as Carrie like peeked around the corner, like this guy just took him right
there
out.
are things like crows on the ground that you as a player can alert, and apparently right now they don't alert the zombies around you, but they can certainly, like, that is sound that other actual people
they're there
will
to
hear.
alert players. And gunfire travels very far in that map.
Yeah.
It gives you a pretty good idea of what direction that they're in. The other issue I had, like, I can't run it in 1440, which drives me insane.
I didn't try.
So the game looks a bit blurry looking to me. But I mean, this is all like, I mean, it's early access.
This game came out 7 days ago in early access.
It definitely loads slow, but I don't know. It's a lot of fun though. Like, I definitely want to try it out some more.
Yeah, they're looking to add in things like having 2 different contracts per map where you can fight both the butcher and the spider.
Yeah, I hope they expand
the spider
monsters,
is
too.
absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
It's so fast. It's
like,
so much faster than you think he's going to be.
Any spider you've seen in any movie, and that it's like that. Just
all those
a giant,
old
terrifying
B,
spider.
those old B movie like claymation spiders that are like.
It looks more realistic than that.
There's day and night versions of each map
Yes.
that you can select to go in and play.
Daytime is significantly less terrifying.
In a way, it makes you more susceptible to running into other players, I think.
It's more.
That's true.
It keeps things more visible.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first game I tried running in solo, and I found all 3 of the clues and I went to the butcher, and I tried to fight him, and I just got destroyed because I think you really got to interact with 2 people.
I haven't even seen the butcher because every time I go for that target, it's dead before I get there. I mean, because other players have gotten it, and then I'm fighting the other players.
Yeah, but the I don't know if it's a bug, no pun intended, but the spider can't leave the environment that he's in.
I don't think the bosses can.
Okay, so they just stay in that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the butcher can't.
Because the first time
either.
Brian and I ran into the spider, Brian went into the house that he was in.
That was a mistake.
And that was a mistake. He got killed instantly. But I was able to just sit in the doorway and just hit him with rifle shots from a distance, and throw lanterns at him and things to light him on fire. Which the environment is like slightly interactive because you can throw lanterns to light other things on fire around you.
Yeah.
Or if you hit any of the base zombies with a lantern directly, it kills them instantly, and anything around them also it gets engulfed in flames, which is cool. Stuff like that. There's barrels that you can blow up and things, so you kind of have to be a little bit aware of what's around you.
Yeah. The health system is interesting too.
Yeah, the health is tiered in a way. So like one of my characters had one 50% bar and then 2 25% bars. And once you lose the 20, if it goes, you lose 25% and then it goes into the second 25%, you can then no longer heal up to the full 100%. You can only heal up to that 25% that you're left at. So
naturally, at
yeah,
least. Like it'll regenerate on its own.
Right.
If you have a part of a bar.
Yeah, if you have a fragment of a bar, it'll go on its own. Otherwise, like, you're kind of screwed, which is kind of cool because then it makes it like you really have to like be aware of what's going on around you, and you have to pay attention. Like, okay, where are the zombies here? Are there any zombies that are laying down that I don't really think are going to pop up but could pop up? Am I close to barrels that can explode because if another player sees them and shoots them? Like, I'll never see that coming, kind of thing. Like
the one game, like when we were trying to stalk 2 other hunters, we made it like a point to not fire at any other enemies. We were either running around them or using just melee weapons to kill them.
Which there is backstab damage too. It's like, I don't know if it's 1.5 or 2.5 times damage, but when you sneak up on a zombie and you're crouching, if you're crouching, they can't really hear you at all. And as long as they don't turn around and see you, they won't see you. So you can creep up on them and backstab them and take them out really quickly and quietly. That doesn't alert any other zombies unless you're extremely close to other zombies. It's a cool game. It is a really cool game. There's zombies that are covered in beehives that can send bees after you that poison you. That's terrifying to run into them.
Poison's a pain to deal with.
Yeah,
too.
poison's a huge pain. So you can buy antidotes, but you don't unlock those until like way later in your bloodline level.
Some of the hunters start with them.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing we should discuss is because you have a set amount, you start the game with $666. You have to hire these hunters and buy them in order to recruit them to use them. I don't know how many you can have total. I've had up to 3 in my inventory at one time. But once you run out of money, you can then hire tier 0 hunters. All hunters start at level 1, but you can hire a 0 level 1 with 0 money and then build up money as you go.
Okay. Yeah. I was wondering that.
Yeah. So if all of your hunters die off and you lose all your money, you then start with the tier 0, which has like I hope
that doesn't happen.
1 weapon and 1 consumable instead of like 2 weapons and a consumable and I think what do they call the other things? Just gear or something like that. So the tier 0s have like nothing basically, but that doesn't mean much because it's really all in how you want to play the game. You can play this game however you want. Like Alex was saying, he played it a few times solo where he was running around and just killing zombies. You can totally do that. I set out today to hunt hunters. Like I wanted to kill other players. That's what I wanted to do. And
because
I did
wants
that.
To ruin other people's fun.
It was so good. It was so good. I wish I would have recorded it. I'm so pissed I didn't record it because it was so good. It's a great game. It's $30 right now on Steam. I think it's worth every penny to jump in now and just have it in your library. If you don't want to play it all buggy and stuff, which it's not even that bad personally.
Yeah, but I mean, with all early access, it might go back and forth a couple times.
Yeah, and there's the opportunity. It'll never be finished.
You're a PC
but I think
elitist snob like me, it's kind of buggy.
I think this game will be finished. I think it'll be fantastic. You can jump in. They have a public Discord channel that you can join, and they will tell you when they're doing server resets and update you on bugs and things like that. You can also jump in there and tell them you're having a specific bug that's happening and things like that. They have
I should probably try that then because I cannot find a solution to my.
It is a very very active community. I think from what I'm seeing. I mean, there's everyone on there is just. I mean, they just introduced voice channels for different countries. So if you don't want to join a game with somebody who's if you want to join a game with someone who speaks your native language, you can do that now instead of just jumping in with randos that are speaking Russian and you can't understand them. So
they really did this the right way because they closed alpha the game, giving out keys to streamers who then kind of drummed up interest and then started slowly letting more people into it. So they really built up that community that cares about it, that a game in early access needs in order to develop into something that the people want.
I feel like that's become a more popular approach.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good way to go about it, honestly.
Yeah. But I like the idea more than I like PUBG. The idea that there is some PvE to put in with the PvP.
Well, that's why I don't think it needs 40 plus players or whatever. I mean, it'd be cool to have like a couple. Like,
I mean, a dozen to
maybe
16.
to
I think
choose
would be
to
good.
play. Like you could play with double the amount, like 20 maybe. Like would be cool. Like
I feel like this could get to the point where if they have a big enough map, like something the size of PUBG,
I mean, this
where
map,
they can
this
have
map is huge.
where they can have several contracts running at once, or like instances of contracts where maybe you can only hold 1 or 2 tokens at a time, but there's like 4 different monsters you can come and kill.
Yeah.
Like if they could get to the point where there's 4 monsters and maybe 4 times the amount of people in the game, I think it would be pretty interesting. But I think there's a lot of room for the game to grow.
Well, yeah, and
different
I
types
mean,
of modes
I want to
and things like that.
I want to see different maps. I want to see different monster types. It'd be sweet if like a specific monster type was just like a huge horde of superpowered zombies that are just chilling in a house or something. Things like I don't know. Like other monsters, werewolves would be sweet.
They definitely need more contract types.
I
don't want to hunt the spider and the butcher
and the fact that like
again.
at least the current map is very swamp based and there's nothing lurking in the water is like kind of a letdown. Like because I find it very easy to just creep around the water and get around things that way. because if there was some
they
creature
need-
from
they
the
need
Black Lagoon that could, like,
in the
alligators,
water too.
yeah, alligators or snakes or something that is going to come after you while you're in the water would be cool. Just other ways to make the game even more challenging to the point where I'm not going to play it.
I would like to see some mode that pays a little bit more attention to solo. Like if they could make a way so that maybe they make the monsters easier for solo people, but then give you less rewards or something like that. Because honestly, like when I tried to fight the butcher, like I didn't think there was. I don't understand how there would be anyone who would beat the butcher
and
solo.
that's kind of why I went
except
into
for maybe Zach.
this latest game that I played by myself. I'm not gonna go after the monster. I'm gonna go after the players because
And
I
that's
know
fine.
I
And let
know
them
that
do all the work too.
right.
You know?
Let them do the work. When they're done doing the work, I kill them and I take the rewards. And
I-
then I go home really satisfied. I feel great. I'm still hyped on it. I'm gonna go home and do some push-ups. It's awesome.
Really,
I would like
that's
the-
how you would like to live your real life is to just reap the benefits of somebody else's.
yeah,
hard
it's
work
the
and go
American
home.
dream embodied into a game. You literally step all over everyone who does the work and you take the reward and you go home.
I just would like to see them increase the viability of playing solo.
Oh, I think they
Yeah.
will. I think this is based on the game has a ton of lore too. Like there's a lore channel in the Discord, which I haven't dived into that too much, but it's a great game for some kind of campaign. Like it could
Honestly, they
could
should
have a cool
lore
campaign.
items in the map then that you can find for XP or
I'm
money.
sure that'll come down the line, something like that. Because this game, I think, because of how it's set up and what you're doing and how it plays, like you could play this with a campaign that is very rewarding in and of itself. So
Yeah.
maybe the campaign gives you
I don't
extra
think
stuff
there's
when
gonna
you're
be a
playing it.
campaign.
I hope they do something with it because I think it's cool and I want to know more about the world. Like I'd like to play through some kind of storyline that's based in the world just to know. But yeah, it's a great game. $30. I think it's worth every penny. I highly recommend everybody check it out if you have a PC that's capable of playing it. I don't know if there's any plans for it to come to console. I'm gonna try and I did try to reach out to Crytek to see if they'd talk to me, but they didn't because nobody wants to talk to me via
Or
social
they
media.
just haven't gotten around to
Maybe
it
they're
yet.
busy people. Who knows?
Maybe I'll try and hit them up on the
They're
Discord.
probably very busy.
I'll hit up one of the
because-
moderators, like
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
privately. So yeah, that's Hunt Showdown. Check it out.
Cool.
Yeah, so kind of a short episode for anybody who's watching the Twitch stream, but it'll be a normal length episode once we throw that interview in there. Again, I want to thank Matt and Chris for joining us for that interview. It is the 1UpX. Where is it? 1UpXesports.com for more information about the expo that's coming up June 22nd through 24th. Be sure to do that. Alex, what's going on with the network?
The Alienist is still chugging along here. We did a recap for episode 5 and 6 last week. We put them both out on the feed because I was not here the previous week and we couldn't record that weekend. But episode 7 airs tomorrow on TNT. And
How many are there total?
There's 10 total.
Okay.
So
That's a limited
limited
engagement.
series, yeah.
Okay.
So it should be 10 episodes. They might come back with another season some other time because there's a second book in the series.
Okay.
But no, it's been quite good. It's been a great show, and I hope anybody here listening to us has checked it out because it's quite good.
Right on.
Westworld is peeking around the corner. I'm
Ooh.
excited for it to return.
So glad I
I'm
have
excited
HBO
to
now.
listen to Westworld FM and watch every episode each week instead of watching it all in one weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure it out because I don't really know. Last time we were Nick and I were paying attention to the Reddit. Maybe we'll have only one of us pay attention to the Reddit and try to pull some punches because I feel like there's a real potential for Reddit to spoil the show like they did season 1. But
Yeah.
it was still really satisfying anyway. So
Yeah.
you should join us no matter what. And then the horror movie yearbook guys have kind of changed over to a little bit of a different format. They're doing kind of one movie per episode this time around, or for the next couple weeks at least. And they did the Class of 1997 Event Horizon was the one I talked about last time.
Yep.
And since then they did the Class of 1954 about Rear Window, Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Cool.
Pretty classic. So
Very cool.
yeah, go check those out.
Right on. Well, if you want to follow us on social media or see all the places you can listen to or watch the show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. And as always, we do appreciate your feedback, which you can send to MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. There's a lot of games coming out this month, like a lot of games coming out this month. So it's
Yep.
going to be really hard to pick and choose. I know Gollum is coming out on PSVR. We've got Sea of Thieves coming out later.
Yay.
We've got Far Cry 5 coming out. I want to hit all these games at some point. So if there's any particular game you guys listening are into and want to hear about and want us to waste our money on it first, please do let us know. Send us some feedback. Hit us up on social media, whatever. But yeah, again, there's a lot of games coming out. We want to hit them all. But if there's something that you want to focus on most, let us know.
And a month from now, we'll be at PAX.
Also
Yeah.
true.
We will be going to PAX a month from now, and we're going to do some episodes nightly maybe while we're there, or maybe we'll just like record while we're there, spur of the moment, and then release like one big episode that weekend or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're really excited for that. So thanks again to everybody for listening, and check back next in 2 weeks for the next episode, and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks, everybody. Peace.